listening, go ahead and give this a retweet. Lots of requests to speak, and we'll certainly have an AMA portion. Over the past few days, we fielded a lot of questions from the community, so we'll go through some of the top ones at the top of this call. But yeah, let's get started just with some quick intros. Brandon, you've been on a lot of public events, but go ahead and reintroduce yourself, please.
Hey, yeah, I'm Brandon. I lead product at ZetaChain, so focus on how we interface with the world, users, developers, all of that fun stuff.
Cool. And Joseph is maybe a new face to everyone, but not new to crypto. Joseph, go ahead and share a bit about your background.
Yeah, sure. Hey, everyone. My name is Joseph, and I've been in crypto for a couple of years. I worked at Figment, The Graph, Celestia, and recently I joined ZetaChain, and now I'm working on XP, alongside with Brandon and the product team.
Awesome. Cool. Well, and thanks for everybody that's coming in and listening to the spaces. Obviously, we made a pretty exciting announcement at the end of last week, and that is what we want to go over today. So we've been fielding some of your questions, and I want to take maybe 10, 15, 20 minutes at the top of this call to go through some of the themes there and just overview of this RFP process for this exciting airdrop, and then we can open it up for questions. So maybe I'll start with you, Brandon. Maybe you could share like current state of where we are in terms of what's been distributed out of the user growth pool and the purpose of this allocation from the Zeta supply in general, and some of the different initiatives that Zeta has gone to date.
Yeah, sure. So I guess high-level overview, we're a good few months into ZetaChain mainnet beta. And if you kind of look back on the past few months, there have been a lot of Zeta distributed from the user growth pool. And I think like as far as communication goes, this has gone through a number of different channels, which we were able to kind of aggregate in this recent blog post. So in short, around 80 million Zeta has been distributed from the user growth pool, including the day one airdrop, as well as a bunch of campaigns like Coinbase Learning, OKX Cryptopedia, Token Pocket, and many more. So I guess in summary, what the user growth pool is aimed at is helping onboard more users and growing the overall community of ZetaChain. And with the kind of goal being to bring users and apps together so apps can find their core user bases and actually grow and build utility for real people for the long term. And our recent announcement is an allocation of 10 million Zeta, in addition to what's already been distributed as the first airdrop or distribution that is centered around XP. And Joseph will talk more about kind of what is upcoming for XP in a bit, I think, but at a high level, what this whole system is trying to build is a way of like very sustainable and kind of long-term rewards a loyalty program of sorts for users to engage with apps, be rewarded for them, and not have it be dependent on, this single big bang event that we're kind of seeing. What I believe is kind of the end of probably this year, of these huge airdrops that end up being kind of harmful to the ecosystems, many users, and even apps.
Indeed. Yeah. And you mentioned this is the first major airdrop for the XP program. And it's a little bit different in that there's an RFP process where apps that are live on ZetaChain and may or may not have been included in the XP program so far are making proposals for part of this 10 million allocation to distribute to end users. That's a little bit different than the day one airdrop of 31.5 million Zeta for testnet users. So, yeah, how does this mechanism work, and what's kind of the strategy behind this RFP process?
Yeah, so how we're looking at this is it's the first step towards a more sustainable and aligned rewards mechanism for all of you on the call, engaging with Zeta Hub, etc. At a high level, how it works is apps in the ecosystem who understand their users, whether they are listed in the XP program already or not, have the ability to apply for an allocation of this 10 million Zeta to distribute to their users in the way that helps them grow, reward their users accordingly, and also in kind of the long term, help kind of funnel back into the XP data layer. So as apps build more usership, they can be listed in the XP program, and this will become a larger and larger data graph for future airdrops or other sort of distributions that apps can tap into to reward their users. So at a high level, the process would be an app submits with an initial proposal of how they want to distribute an airdrop to users of Zeta. They can also layer in their own rewards. The Zeta Hub XP team will review and kind of give feedback for one more revision or greenlight it immediately. And after that is completed, the grants will go out to apps for distribution, and apps can choose when is most optimal for them and their communities to do this before October 1st. Applications are going to close at the end of June, so July 1st. And after that, and this deliberation process, and also public feedback if apps are interested in posting their initial proposals live for feedback as well. We'll kind of do all of that deliberation and then finalize for distribution sometime in the next few months.
Yeah. So, yeah, in this way, the power is largely in the hands of apps to decide on distributions, but also there are some guidelines in the full announcement with different parameters and tiering mechanisms, partly because ZetaChain wants to make sure that this is in the best interest of users and that all of an app's Zeta allocation is not going to a few people. So all the details are in the guidelines there. Brandon, anything to call out about some of the questions about pre-May 1st users versus post-May 1st and any other important parameters about XP?
Yeah, so the RFP is aimed at rewarding, especially phase one, the 90-day period users, but also has room for other criteria. And the reason for this is we definitely want to reward the initial cohort of XP users because they are the ones, basically helping build this ecosystem or this data layer with us and all of apps involved. But we also understand that apps have their own users that may not have participated in XP, and joining both of these criteria helps the ecosystem build the XP system even larger, but also ensures a more fair distribution as is needed per app. But yeah, otherwise, I think it's pretty open for apps to design as they see fit for their ecosystems.
Cool. So yeah, before we start bringing on some speakers and fielding some questions, I think you touched on it. Like, why is this not a pure ZetaChain airdrop, and the strategy behind apps rewarding users to create a more sustainable ecosystem? Like, the goal is to build an ecosystem of omni-chain or universal apps on ZetaChain and make these startups and projects really successful. And so in that way, this round one of the XP airdrop puts Zeta in their hands to largely decide these distributions using the XP data layer. And yeah, before we jump to questions, like, big picture thoughts about the airdrop space, and you mentioned a little bit, but like, and Joseph, feel free to chime in as well. Like, how do you think this reward space in crypto evolves in the next few years? Or do you think we see interesting activations beyond just like pure token rewards? How do you think all of this shapes up?
Yeah, I can go, and Joseph, feel free to chime in. So I said it before, but we're kind of in this stage or this phase of a lot of very large airdrops going to communities, and that is great for a small subset of users, but overall not really sustainable, at least in our eyes, for long term or apps to actually build real utility over time. And part of that is in a single airdrop event. It is very beneficial for retroactively rewarding users, but one, it's near impossible to get right in a single event with a single party kind of controlling who is getting what. Since ultimately it's this whole ecosystem of apps, the protocol itself, users, even validators and other parties. So being able to get it right over time or through multiple iterations is, I think, going to be critical moving forward. And the other side of today's airdrops is immediately after an airdrop goes live, pretty much all of the recent ones that I've seen end up, it's kind of misaligned with the goals of the protocol and even users, where all of the users kind of jump ship right after the airdrop and move on to the next thing. While again, it is beneficial for a small subset of people, it's not really aligned with actually building the network. So with this new model, you're able to kind of have many chances as an ecosystem or as apps to approach this airdrop event. And over time, we can discover together what is the right criteria for users. We kind of have more strikes, more chances to get it right. But I'll let Joseph chime in if you have anything.
Indeed.
Yeah, I agree with that. Like, airdrops are being used a lot also at some point to like do some kind of token distribution, and that at a lot of time force people to be short-term holders of these tokens and not like long-term players within the communities and ecosystems. I think now the shift is going to be more towards like, who are the most active users? How can we find a way to, instead of like rewarding a smaller amount to a larger community members, like how can we target like these more loyal users and how can we reward them more than others. So I think like moving forward, there's going to be criteria about like some kind of who's been here the longest, how many times they have engaged in my community. And I think these are going to be the driving factors towards like these tokens distribution.
Indeed. And like, how can we do fun stuff beyond just direct token airdrops, like in real life activations, fly you to a conference in crypto, crazy fun stuff. And that's where we want to hear feedback from the market and the community. So let's bring on some people onto the stage for questions. And this session is also open to any apps that are going through the RFP process as well. So I see Accumulated Finance and some others. You guys are welcome to request to be a speaker as well. Let's add OmniChain Error as a speaker. Nice name. OmniChain Error, go for it. Abub Kar, you are a speaker as well. What questions do you guys have about XP program and any of the guidelines in the announcement? I'll add a few more people on. We got 4 speakers on the stage. Don't be shy. Go for it.
Hello, guys.
Hey, what's your question? All right, guys, please request to be a speaker if you actually have a question, or I'm going to have to boot you off.
Yeah, I guess it's speak now or forever hold your peace, and we'll move to a next set of questions.
Yeah, I'll give it a couple more tries here. You know I always have questions, so.
Hello.
Hey, welcome.
I'm
What's your question, sir?
I'm Mr. Welt from Nigeria. I've been an advocate of ZetaChain right from 2022 down to this year, and I'm a very heavy participant of the testnet. So if you go through my bio on Twitter, you see everything my bio there is about ZetaChain. That's to tell you how much I believe on the concept, on the blockchain concept that ZetaChain team is building. So I want to say something concerning the SP airdrop. As for me, I feel unsafe leaving the DApp partner to submit our transaction scores. So I expected the team to do the distribution itself, rather leaving it in the hands of DApp partners. Because I believe that if it happens like that, my fear is that there might be, they may likely filter the transaction, which may leave some users not able to get their actual score. Thank you.
Thank you, OmniChain. More of a statement, which we appreciate. My 2 cents, just before you go, Brandon, is that there are other initiatives through the user growth pool where there are more direct rewards. There's all of the wallet campaigns, which we continue to scale up. That goes through wallet apps, but we do want to scale up more opportunities for direct reward distributions.
Yeah, and also thank you for the support so far. I think many of you guys here are probably from 2022 or even 2021 supporting the testnet through to mainnet. So that is amazing to hear. And we hear the feedback for a lot of you participating in XP so far. The idea is that people submitting or apps submitting have their understanding of users and also understanding of the XP data set that they have to base their distribution largely on. And our job as the XP team is to help ensure there is a fair distribution. So it is not a one-way road where apps are going to distribute just to their huge whale users. The criteria that we will deliberate with each app is to help ensure that a large portion of the snapshot, especially the people who made the 200K threshold, are rewarded. But it kind of goes hand in hand. People need to use the XP data set because that is at the core of this UGP reward system, or this approach that we're taking. But they also have their own special understanding that they should layer in. And that could even come in the form of, if a project has their own token or point system, they can add in rewards on top of this initial 10 million ZETA airdrop allocation.
Cool. There are about 30 requests here to ask questions. Let me bring on a few more. We're probably not going to get to everyone. We'll do more of these live sessions and also do make comments or ask questions in the tweet. And we promise to address those in the next few hours after this session.
Hello, I'm back again. There is something I also want to ask again, because I've been having glitches in claiming SP in this round 2. I've tried different browsers. Even my friend and his wife also have the same issue. The first round, everything went smoothly, but these second rounds, I've been having glitches. After completing task, I will not be able to claim my SP. So I don't know if you can draw attention to that.
Yeah, if you're able to send a bug report in Discord, Joseph and I can take a look and try to figure out what's going on.
Thanks, OmniChain. Ridox, you're on the stage. Go ahead and ask a question if you have. Adding a few more.
Hello. Can you hear me?
Hey, Animal, welcome to the stage. Go for it.
Okay, so my question is, sir, why ZETA is giving rights to the dApps? Why not ZETA directly give rewards to the users? And my second question is,
Sure. Yeah.
why allocation is too low? Like 420 peoples are eligible, 420K peoples are eligible for the rewards, and the allocation amount is only 10 million.
Sure. So yeah, we entered the first part earlier in this session. Maybe Brandon or Joseph can summarize. And then, yeah, the amount, this is an iterative process where we want to learn. Maybe Brandon, Joseph, you could share more about the thinking behind the amount.
Yeah, so for the first question, the answer again is we know apps understand users in ways that even Zeta Hub does not understand users. So the thinking here is we merge both. The XP data layer is one way to understand users, and by layering in app-specific knowledge, they can ensure the fairest distribution of Airdrop to users who are providing real utility, real usage, real feedback, anything like that to real apps. As you see in the XP program, pretty much the entire focus is on helping apps and users meet and build together. For the number, 10 million, I guess that is, what we were able to allocate from the UGP, and the other component is there is a majority of the UGP left for distribution, and it goes back to the goal of having more chances to get this distribution correct. So there will be more rewards. The UGP is fully focused on XP users and people who are helping build app communities or providing feedback or actually using apps in general. So I don't think you guys should view this as the end all, but the first of many.
Yeah. Thank you, Adam.
Sir,
Lucky
I just
Crypto.
only tell one thing. Like, we invest our money, we invest our 3 months to the project. Please think little bit to your users. Thank you.
Totally heard. Thank you so much for the feedback.
Lucky Crypto, you have your hand up. Go for it.
All right. PNPN, thank you for making me the speaker.
Your
Thank you so
mic's a
much.
little muffled.
Am I ready? Am I ready?
Yeah.
Can you hear me? Can you hear me now?
Yeah, it's a bit better. Go for it.
Okay. All right. Thank you for giving me the mic. Yeah. So my question is, I'm new to ZetaChain. I'm new to ZetaChain, and I'm very sure there are people like me out there in space listening to this ZetaChain and Airdrop stuff. So my question is that people like me, that are new to the chain, in what way can we position ourselves on the chain? Yeah, and my second question is like the distribution. Yeah, you guys. Am I okay? Am I okay?
Yeah, I got the
Yeah,
first part and the second part.
okay, the second part is I believe that I'm actually on Tom blockchain, and Tom blockchain is actually doing similar thing you guys are about to do, and they're all actually on open week whereby people get to compete with themselves and go into the world kind of a thing. I believe there's a little relation between the airdrop distribution and the Tom blockchain ecosystem economy. So my question is that if if the if the airdrops were given to the project, the dApps, yeah, to distribute to their users, my question is, do you think it should be fair for the users to receive their rightful allocations? That's my second part of the question.
Okay. To summarize, the first part is if you're a new crypto user to ZetaChain, how to best position yourself and interact with the network, like what opportunities are there. And then the second part sounds like what level of transparency is there when the apps do their Zeta distribution? Like, will that be public and transparent to users? I think that's what we heard.
Yeah, good.
Yeah, that is.
Okay. Thank you so much. Yeah, Brandon, you want to take that?
Yeah. Well, actually, I thought, Joseph, maybe you could talk more on XP and what opportunities there are for new ZetaChain users moving forward.
Yeah, sure. So like one thing we want to do with the new kind of like ranking system or point system is answer the question, how can we identify active and loyal users within the community that already has a large number of XP points, but without necessarily penalizing new users and newcomers with like low XP points. And that's why we are kind of like right now working and researching new mechanism and new system that is more based on kind of like the activity of users. So that's why we can, for new coming users, we can identify that they've been active for a certain time and they should be considered one of the kind of like loyal and active users within the community. And so these are some of the upcoming stuff that we are working currently on in the XP to capture is with the new ranking and new system for the point system. And this is going to be coming in the new upcoming versions. And I'm going to like quickly jump here and like just share a little bit on what you're thinking with XP is. Initially, the XP is kind of like playing an important part for our community, both for like the users and the applications on top of ZetaChain. And so now we wanted also to share with everyone that we are kind of like doubling down on XP. And as I shared earlier, is that I'm new to ZetaChain, and you know when I joined ZetaChain, Brandon shared with me that my main focus is going to be on XP. So now we are doubling down on XP. We have a team building it. We are building really exciting stuff in the long term. And the idea here is that we really want to like turn XP around on and focus more on the active and loyal users within the community, even if that means new users or like long-term users. And we want to start more building in public with everyone. So we want to like on Discord, we're going to be launching new features, new mechanisms, new systems, and we want to directly hear from our active community, use that as feedback to iterate on certain features. And there's going to be a huge change like in a couple of weeks. So go to the XP page every few days, and in 2 or 3 weeks, you're going to realize there's going to be a huge change. We're revamping the entire UI, the entire UX. It's going to be a new product. We're launching some really exciting features. We're launching some rewards. And as we mentioned earlier as well, we're going to start moving to more frequent perks in real life perks. So that's going to be exciting as well. And yeah, I'm going to stop here if I don't know there's other questions or anything else.
Yeah, and I can add to the transparency question again. So we are encouraging apps to publish their RFP proposals publicly at the same time of submitting to the form. And I think the best submissions who will get the strongest allocations and the fairest distributions are the ones who are publishing it publicly and getting feedback before we go to distribution. And I'll add that, again, the 10 million Zeta first phase airdrop is the first XP focused airdrop, but it is a learning experiment for us to do rewards correctly for users. So if this model does not do well, or if it does, will make a decision on what the next rewards will look like. And in summary of what Joseph said, basically, if you are doing well in the XP system and the ranking system that Joseph described, that will essentially be the status symbol or the kind of like status level that you will have available to prove to apps and to Zeta Hub and XP to claim rewards, be it, you know, access to an in real life event, merch, other airdrops, etc. So that's kind of the direction that XP is moving in.
Nice. Yeah, and excited to learn as this moves forward and we get more feedback. And I'm excited for all of this data to be open in an Explorer soon. We attach the raw XP snapshot data in the blog post, which is open source, but we want to make it easier for users and devs to explore that. Rydox, go for it. I see your hand is up.
Hello, go GM. Can you hear me?
GM.
Can you hear me? Hello, am I logging?
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear.
Oh, I've been using ZETA for years, for years. I wasn't able to qualify for the testnet reward though, but I still believe in ZETA. But this I'm seeing right now, like giving right to the dApps to like share this thing. I don't think this is the right idea. Like you guys, I thought you guys will have handled the SP reward by yourself. That was my first opinion. The second one is like you guys promised all these Discord goals, all these set nice and everything. You guys promised maybe in your next reward there will be reward for it, but we are not hearing anything from that aspect. What's going on with that?
Yeah, so the first part, I think another comment about the third-party RFP strategy. I think we talked through that earlier in the session and kind of the thinking behind that, and that there are more opportunities for direct airdrops from the ZetaChain Foundation. The other part about Discord roles and Galaxy and different social platforms, that's also part of the user growth pool. And some of those channels were considered in the day one airdrop. On Galaxy, we did an airdrop of 120,000 Zeta a few months ago, and there's still an open quest on that platform. So it's still part of the strategy. Ultimately, we want users to engage with the XP layer, and that's where most of the product investment and growth strategy is going. We have about 37 requests to be speaker. We're not going to get to everyone here, so a reminder to throw your questions in the Spaces tweet here, and we'll be replying throughout the day. Let's bring on one more round of speakers. God, welcome to the stage. We also got Crypto Doc, and let's bring up Frost. Any of you guys can jump in.
All right, GM. Hi,
GM, go for it, Frost.
all right. I originally wanted to say I saw the announcement and the announcement about the 10 million XP airdrop, blah blah blah, stuff like that. All right, so I just wanted to say something here. I think Zeta has millions of users that are participating um in the XP airdrop. I think I'm going to post it like that. And okay, I think I saw that I read the blog, right? And I actually saw that you guys said okay, you are going to have like less than okay. I think I saw equal to and higher than 200k XP are the people that are going to qualify for the XP airdrop. All right, that's okay. But what I actually have a problem with was I said I have a problem with it. What I actually have a problem with was number one, the 10 million Zeta XP I saw. I felt it was too like the reward for the amount of users was a little bit. I'm not even saying a little bit. It was little for that certain amount of users, right? And the strategy you guys used was okay. You said you are going to share your um projects that are building under Zeta should apply for the airdrop, and they are going to be the ones to distribute our stuff. So, like, I majorly wanted to ask, this is my question. You said, I think you guys said July 1 is when July 1 by 12 a.m. UTC is when the application for projects to distribute the airdrop stuff, that is when it's going to stop. Like the deadline for the application is July 1 by 12 a.m. UTC. So I wanted to ask when, if, for example, Eddie Finance. Now I'm giving an example now. Let's say, for example, now Eddie Finance like um gave the application before July 1, 12 a.m. BTC. When is the distribution now is what I'm talking about now. What is the Lagos? I literally read the blog and I didn't see anywhere where the deadline for the distribution to users was. Like, I didn't see any details about the distribution for the airdrop itself. Like, what I basically saw was just the deadline for the application for project to apply, like the application for project to submit so that they can share the 10 million rewards letter to users. But there was no place where you guys clarified that, okay, yes, if the deadline for the application for project is 12 a.m. UTC July 1, you guys didn't give an exact date for maybe before the ending of July.
So
Yeah.
I can chime in here. So first, thank you for reading the blog post. If you look at process number 6, all distributions have to go out by October 1st. So there is a deadline. We are encouraging apps to do it as soon as possible, but also understand apps have their own timelines that they need to work on. So there is room for them to decide when. But if they do not distribute by October 1st, then those rewards will be allocated to other programs around XP.
All right, that's I think that's okay. That's okay. That's good.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah, and appreciate your feedback. And yeah, if we'll learn, is 10 million too small, or if it was 100 million, would that be too big? It was 200K XP cutoff, the right parameter. So this is round one. This is a start to learn about what works and doesn't work with everyone. And over time, we'll get a lot more input from the community to actually affect a lot of these decisions and features and stuff. Thanks, CryptoDoc. Let's take one more question. Frost. Yeah, go for it.
Yep. Hey, yo, am I audible?
Yep.
All right. I've got about 3-4 questions, and it starts from why the delay in sharing this particular XP? I mean, it was a 90-day process, it was a 90-day activity, 3 months of work swapping, using those D apps, and we had to wait for about 45 to 50 days before you gave an announcement about the distribution. So that's not too cool on the community, because every day on Discord I go there and people are clamoring and asking for a response from a team member, and it's always they're working on it. I'm not too cool with that, and I'm definitely sure lots member of the community as well ain't cool with that as well. I'm sure you can understand that most of the community members here on today's AIMA aren't cool with the fact that it's the D apps that are going to be sharing the rewards to us, and I've been on this space for some time, so I've heard you answer that, I've heard you explain that, but we are not okay with that, right? We are not okay with that. Thirdly, the last speaker mentioned the deadline, and I think one of your guys responded with October 1st. This particular season one ended May 1st, right? You delayed the announcement to mid-June, and you are going to give the D apps 4 months until they can come up with distribution. That's not fair for just season one. So now season one started since February and it's going to end October. You scheduled just 90 days for this, right? See, that's not fair. I don't know if there's something you can do. I know lots of community members have problem with the amount to be distributed, 10 million ZETA. It's not enough. There's lots of us over there. There's lots of us in the bracket that qualified. But 4 months for D apps to distribute, it would really, really be nice if you can, rearrange, reschedule that particular date. I know you said D apps have to take their time to analyze data and all of that shit, but we have season 2 already ongoing. We have season 3, and I think from your blog post or something, you mentioned we are going to get 8 seasons of XP. Yeah. So there's like literally no time. So that means one season is going to take about 6 to 7, 8 months before it's concluded totally. So we need this to be, speedily done, because community members, users are spending their cash on it. So if the rewards are coming in faster, they can have some justification for the work they're putting in for 90 days. Yep, that's all. Thanks.
Cool. Thank you. I can try to talk on some of these points. For the delay in sharing details for phase 1, I think ultimately we're just going to have to acknowledge it wasn't ideal, and we're going to try to do much, much better. Now that Joseph is able to lead a team that is entirely focused on this. So communication, how fast we move in terms of rewards and updates to XP with the community, and gathering feedback directly, we have a lot more bandwidth to do that now, which we did not have earlier. For apps and distributing through apps, again, this is the first try at an airdrop around XP. If things don't work well, we're going to go back to the drawing board and do something new. For the deadline, again, we're encouraging people to distribute way sooner than October 1st. That is just the ultimate cutoff, so that we have the ability to take those allocations if we were already agreed to grant to an app, if they end to put it back into the UGP and use it towards other programs. So that's the thinking behind that timeline. And then also, as far as I know, at least writing the content with the team, there's been no mention of 8 seasons. I don't know where that came from. As Joseph mentioned, we're actually trying to make rewards a lot more rapid and immediate rather than extending the timeline. So as that new ranking system that Joseph described is built, and the reward system around it, you could expect, more immediate rewards for doing tasks directly rather than this waiting game, which I acknowledge does not feel good. We feel the pain too. We see your guys' comments every day, and we're trying to make this better and more fun and sustainable and rewarding for you.
Thanks. And Frost, is there a particular project you've seen out there that we can look at that did a better job around the reward distribution on mainnet that we can learn from? Any examples?
Yeah, I'd not like to make this particular recommendation, but I would mention Venom. They launched their mainnet somewhat around March 25, started the mainnet campaigns and did their distribution, I think, 7 weeks after they did the campaign for 6 weeks or 5 weeks, then distributed about a week after the campaign ended. So that was like super fast. Although community members were not satisfied with the amount distributed, it was, a tug of war on the Discord, but yeah, it was fast. Distribution was quick, and they could move on to season 2 as fast as possible.
Cool. Yeah, we're gonna look into it. Thank you. Okay, one more question here. I see Bitcoin Era has his hand up. Go for it, sir.
Hi. So my question is that uh, how long this phase is going to run, and when you are going to distribute this XP program. Actually, the reward allocation is very low and wallet is so high. So, and another question is that when I am doing the transaction on the multiple dApps like Edify and Jita Swap, Jita Earn, so more of the times transaction is going to fail. Means if I am doing the transaction 10 times, then only 7 times is going to pass the transaction, but 3 times is going to fail. That's so also I might be this uh, transaction issue like blockchain issue, anything might be anything, this technical issue. And Jita, and also when we stack the Jita there, then when we unstack, then it takes 29 days. So why it is taking so long time? These some of my question just to ask. Thank you.
You broke up a little bit there. Do you want to summarize your question? Maybe you could pick
I
the
think I got the
highest priority one.
questions.
Oh, okay. Go for it, then.
Yeah, so for the first question, how long is this phase going to run? As we mentioned before, applications for the RFP close July 1st, and distributions have to go out before October 1st. But this does not block the more rapid rewards that Joseph mentioned for XP in this new phase. When using apps, you said transactions fail. That is kind of out of Zeta Hub's control, but if you're able to give that feedback to apps, hopefully they can improve. And if you want to send it in ZetaChain Discord, you can also send it there, and we can try to route it to the app developers if we can. And then for staking, the unlock period or cooldown period is 21 days. That is actually standard among many or most, or maybe even like all major Cosmos-based chains. So that is kind of a way to ensure against large or malicious movements of stake. But yeah, that is kind of just the standard. And it's good feedback that you feel it's too long. But if you are wanting to make a change there, we do have potential to change that through governance. So it's something you should potentially get involved with on GitHub or on governance.zetachain.com.
And one more question is that if we want to do a development with the Zeta team, then how to connect there? Suppose I am a developer, so I want to develop anything with the Zeta team, and otherwise I want to improve something in the Zeta code. So how to connect with the developers?
So you can go directly to GitHub and post issues and contribute to the protocol itself. Otherwise, there's also the docs repository where you can leave feedback if you want to learn how to develop as well. Docs.zetachain.com is a great resource. And then in the dev channels on Discord, a lot of the team is pretty active on watching that to discuss any changes or updates.
Awesome. Thank you, Bitcoin Era.
Thank you.
Thank you. Yeah. So, yeah, a lot of requests to come ask questions. We're hitting the top of the hour. One of the things Joseph and the Zeta Hub group wants to do next are more frequent calls every 2 weeks, where we can share updates on the RFP processes and rolling distribution of rewards. So that'll be exciting. Again, if there have been a lot of requests to ask questions, so just shoot them in the thread here in the tweet, and we'll go through them over the next 24 hours. Joseph and Brandon, any last thoughts here on this announcement? And you mentioned some of the things that are coming with the Universal XP program, features and different ideas. I'll give the floor to you as we wrap up the spaces.
Yeah, thank you. So I think this is a really good initiative. Like, we are putting the emphasis more on real world applications, and this distribution from the application is going to help the developer and application community, like ecosystem in our community. So I think this is a really cool initiative, and everyone, you should all be part of this. And I would say, like, really stay tuned. Like, in 2-3 weeks, there's going to be major changes to the entire XP product. There's going to be a lot of like fun and new exciting initiatives, features happening. As you briefly mentioned, we want to start doing like a Discord call every 2 weeks with our community members to iterate on the product. We're going to be building in public with all of you. So I would say, yeah, stay tuned, and in 2 weeks, start checking the new XP. There's going to be like huge changes, exciting changes there. Yeah, that's it.
Cool. And Brandon, any last words, or all has been covered?
I think I've said too many words, but I guess thank you guys, everyone, for all of the feedback. If you guys have recommendations for references for other Sybil lists that we can broadcast to the communities to ensure better distribution, please let us know in the comments or on Discord. We want to make sure that this airdrop is as fair and as meaningful as possible for you. So yeah, conversation does not stop here.
Cool. Well, Brandon, Joseph, thank you for taking the time, and we'll see you on these upcoming calls. And yeah, thanks everyone for being here and being a part of this, and we'll catch you soon. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.